welcome back to the GSL. And every time I hear that song, I wanted to say, I just want to like sing welcome back to the GSL with the beat, but there's not enough time in the song. It gets too quiet. I can't do it. I can't do it, Calder.
I couldn't meet the rhythm, to tell you the truth. Not with the welcome back speech. But well, look at this. Shine against Pole. This is the third round of Code A to TSL players. On the one hand, it's sad. On the other hand, they are really happy about it.
I agree. It's awesome because no matter what, a TSL player goes to Code S. Now we will see which one of these two players gets the chance to face another opponent in that third round and get that Code S spot. It's going to be Puzzle up against Curious. Puzzle looking so sick right now in GSTL. I believe he's either ranked 2nd or 3rd in overall wins. This guy is playing outstanding there.
Puzzle just came back from NASL and he arrived yesterday. He's really tired. He arrived late yesterday, I think late at night, and we just talked to Slayers, Sella and Jessica, and he seems to have slept until 4 p.m. today. So he didn't have any time to practice since he came back to Korea, and he is now facing StarTale Curious, a Zerg player who stayed in Korea for a long time. He did not travel to any events just recently, and therefore had a lot of time to prepare for this match.
Yep, this is going to be definitely a match I think Curious can win. This guy does stellar in Code A, almost always making it out of the third round and then falling out of his Code S group. This is something he's done consistently, and the question is, will he do it again? Curious is one of the kings of Code A. He's almost like the next version of YugiOh, where he always gets into Code S and then falls back out.
Puzzle to the left. He seems to be well rested, but apparently he had a tough flight, and we'll find out if he is able to overcome this.
Of course he did, man. All flights that are longer than like 6 hours are tough flights. I don't care
Not
who
necessarily. I mean, when Paul and I came back from assembly, we were on a flight with Finnair. It was actually beautiful. Half the plane was empty. We had so much space. It was only 8 hours. It was a direct flight. That was actually a really relaxing flight. But usually, you're right, especially when you fly to the US, there are no direct flights. You always have to have a stopover, and this can be quite tiresome.
I still think all flights are tough flights, man. Even if it was the best tough flight possible, it's still a tough flight. I hate flying. See if Puzzle can take this game with flying colors against Curious from the team StarTale. This is the GSL Code A.
Our Proto starts to the top right of Cloud Kingdom, our first map in the best of 3. He's a Slayer player, and this is Ice to solve riddles. Yes.
Slayer's Puzzle.
Yep. He is probably, if he were a real puzzle, I think he would be at least a 1,000-piece puzzle.
At least.
At least. He's that complicated.
Bottom left of the map, we have his opponent, another Zerg in this Zerg versus Protoss. Starting for the StarTale team, we have
StarTale Curious.
Who wants to have a little bit more success than his teammate. Ace was not able to defeat Shine. And
Curious is a killer, man. I just want to say this while he's on camera. Look at him. He'll kill you. Look, he looks like he like saw a fly in his booth. He was about to like grab with his fingers and kill. He's like, all right, hold on a second. He like presses PP with one hand and grabs the fly with the other. Pauses the game and he takes a fly, and then just like calls the referee. He's like, can you dispose of this? What? Puts the fly in the trash can. Then tells them they're ready to resume. He's like, I'm ready to resume the game. Sorry, there was a fly in my booth. And he's like, next time I'll get it with chopsticks so I don't get my hands dirty.
Look at this gas. What is Curious doing here?
Well,
gas into pool. It's been a long time since I've seen this.
It may just be a speedling expand that's designed to scare Puzzle. You know, if Puzzle comes in and scouts this, it's going to be like, well, nobody speedling expands anymore. This has to be an all-in.
This is definitely out of the ordinary. This is something that we usually don't see. What's the standard build on this map is a 14 pool and then straight into expand. And he scouted, he knows that there's currently a pool, but this is really interesting. This is basically a 14-14, very old build. It was very safe when the beta came out, and this was kind of the go-to build for Zerg against Terran. You wanted to be super safe against anything that could happen here.
And you also did this against Protoss from time to time, you know. Being able to chase down those probes and find those pylons when people were doing 4 gates a lot of the time was something you wanted to be able to do with that Zergling speed. This is weird. Now, if he doesn't make his natural soon, Puzzle is going to start to panic a little bit, I think. And this is maybe what Curious is trying to do here.
He still mines gas, and this is the important part. I would also be very, very disappointed if we would only get speed and then fall back in a normal macro game, because it would have been him wasting a lot of potential. That's the one reason why we don't see a normal speed link expand once again, because you know exactly what you can get away with. And why would you get speed this early when you don't need it? You have the scouting information, you see that your opponent is starting with a forge, and therefore you know he won't be aggressive. And look at this, he takes straight to lair. Very cool and very interesting what he does, but he has to kill this probe. This probe is his worst enemy now. He knows about the potential expansion, but he still has to realize that this is a bit odd.
He should just... I don't like this. I don't like how Curious... Okay, well, that was really weird. I was like, I guess he's not going to make the hatchery, which limits his production, and then... I think if he was going to make the hatchery, I don't know why he wanted to make... Okay, so I guess he's going to try to make him think, no hatchery, I got to make cans at my front, then he's going to go with the Nidus. But he's only got one Overlord on the map. This is not a Startail Life build.
It is not necessarily a Nidus. He can start with one, but he only, as you pointed out, has one Overlord. There's a lot of potential to this build, and we could see him go for Nidus. This could be just a very, very fast timing for a few Mutalisks to hit here. He could also go for some well-timed out... I don't know about this. Let me see his gas. Okay, he could go for a Hydra push and a forward Nidus, for example.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things that you can do, and he goes for
drop.
the speed. That is also something that we've seen lately. It's just a variation of all this aggression that you can start off. There's a lot of different builds. They are not really common, and this is why you don't really expect them. We mentioned two of them. This is a third.
I've never seen this before. Overlord drops?
Yeah, you can also drop
Banelings.
Lings and Banelings.
I have never seen this before. This is literally the first time for me. This is really interesting.
Give me a second. Who did this? One of the players, well, Death Angel did it. He was staying at the GOM house. He used to do something like this. But there was another player, another Zerg. Oh, God.
Well, this is my moment to be really excited, because I'm like, whoa, what is this?
No,
Overlord speed and Overlord drops with Banelings. This is...
Those
this
Ling
is cool.
drops can be really cool.
This is safer than a Nidus in some ways, because... if you see a Nidus, you can kill it with probes, but if you see an Overlord that's dropping Zerglings, then, well, the Zerglings are just in your base no matter what.
It's driving me crazy. I can't come up with a map, with the name. He did it on Antigua. I've seen it on Antigua.
This is a Korean
quite
player?
a lot. I think it was actually also a TSL player. Was it Symbol? Oh, I'm going crazy here.
Was it Ragnarok, for example? I don't know. I don't know this particular game. This is my first time, but I'm really excited. I've never seen a build like this with fast drops at speed.
I've seen it, and it's pretty cool. It can hit it really, really hard, but it's, of course, also a little bit gambling. But you can see that this is exactly what it's doing. He's getting a lot of Zerglings right now, and because with the speed, they are really fast up here, and you can drop, and then you basically use the Overlord just to move them into the main base over and over again.
He's going to go for the drop with the Banelings at the natural to kill probes while he drops the Lings in the main to distract everything else.
This is really, really aggressive, but it's very cool, as you can see. His drone count is very low at 22.
Oh, he spots this with the Void Ray.
This is bad.
I don't know why he thinks he should load there. Okay, well, I guess loading allows him to save one or the other. But here comes Speedlings into the main base.
Yeah, and now Puzzle has to react, and he does. He immediately pulls off everything that he has. He's currently in possession of 2 sentries, and Curious is already supply blocked. Here come the Zerglings immediately trying to snipe the hatch. Of course, the probe count is now enormous for Puzzle. At the same time, Curious is down in Harvesters. He has to make this work somehow, trying to take down the sentries. He's not able to do it, and even if Puzzle loses his main base, this game is not over for the Protoss, just because he has such a great economy. But here comes the follow-up for Curious, going straight into the Hydra Den.
Yeah, the straight into Hydra Den is really smart here. He can use Overlords to transport them into the main base, as well as you can use that Overlord creep spread.
Another attempt to drop the economy. If this Overlord is able to sneak in and drop the Banelings, it's gone.
All the probes are there.
In the main base, another attempt to take down one on the next side. Is he able to make this happen? And I think he will! Oh my god!
Well, he doesn't kill all of them. The probe count now reduced to 28, which puts him at 28 to 24, but in total there, he killed 18 workers.
He killed 18. He could have killed a lot more. Guys, you can't see the hit points of these probes, but most of them are down to the red. They only have 5 hit points left.
Yep.
18 were killed, and keep in mind that we have now currently 2 mining bases against 1, so the income is definitely better for Curious at this point.
Yeah, and here we go. Wave number 2.
No, this time he's ready.
Gets 1.
Yeah, he kills 1. Not really the most efficient trade. But once again, because he had all his Whoa, what is he doing here? Oh. Yes, and he doesn't realize it right away. This is a lot of mining time lost. Oh, wow. He does not realize what is happening. Ah, this is bad news. Oh my god, finally. But yeah, what I wanted to point out is that he has a fully saturated base nonetheless. It was oversaturated earlier because he had to use all the probes that were in his main base at the natural. So if for the one base play, this is still a full saturation. Up to the point where the Nexus in the main base will be completed.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point, Curious is his strongest point is the fact that he has these Hydras defensively, because Puzzle's strongest attacking force is in the air. He's got 4 Phoenixes and 2 Void Rays, and he's got 3 Sentries and the Zealot. But he's got kind of an air force, but with these Hydras, he will be able to defend. Unfortunately for him, though, he's going to be out of position when these 2 Void Rays hit. There's not even a Queen in sight.
He has a Queen, and he has, of course, also a Hydralist at National, but with all those Phoenixes, this is the bigger story here. When the Phoenixes swoop in and lift them, then suddenly there is just nothing that he can do in order to stop this. But the attack of Curious, this is also going to hit hard. He's not even able to kill one of the Void Rays. Great timing here for Puzzle, gets a little bit lucky though. Here comes the attack, sniping off the Forge, but Curious is in a bad spot here, because we already have the second wave of buildings just waiting for this to happen. The Sentry is very important. That was a close
call, yeah, and the Phoenix gets out here. He may want to start lifting these Hydras to minimize the DPS. Oh, those cannons are not done yet. 3 of them warping right now. And he's not targeting his Void Rays on very critical buildings. One cannon does get killed here, but great force field.
Look at the money that Puzzle is floating. He needs to build some units here. He needs to get additional gateways. Build something in your the robotics thingy where you get the immortals. Build anything. I don't care what you do, but you need units, you need cannons, you need something, and at the same time target down the lair.
Well, he can't make cannons without that forge. He's making 3 more gateways. He didn't really have any production. And this is starting to look really scary. The Void Rays are doing damage in the main, but the probes have to come off here, but they're all low on hit points from before.
This is so scary. Oh god, Curious is attacked in his main. He's losing everything, or at least a lot against the Void Rays, but at the same time the Phoenixes now have to head home.
They are the rescue force here, but they will not be able to kill the Zerglings. They can kill the Hydras, but that's not going to be enough.
The problem is that the Hydras are the only anti that he has, and there are 6 of them. There is no gas left for Curious to build additional ones. So once the Hydras are gone, he will have nothing to take down those Void Rays, because the Queen that's currently at the natural is simply not enough. And the Hydras, they are gone. He lifts them one by one and takes them down. And now, is there anything that can stop Puzzle?
I mean, he's got these small groups of Lings, 10 more Lings coming in here. There's not a lot of lifts. There's 2 more Sentries warping in now. With
the
good force fields.
Are not at the natural. He has to use his probes as well to kill them. The force fields trap them. They try to get out here. The harvester count is 9 to 12 in favor of Curious. But he does not really have a lot of gas. He has nothing. He's just building Zerglings. And now the 2 Void Rays are headed towards the natural. There are 2 Queens by now, though. No energy for Transfuse.
In 9 seconds, he'll have enough. Oh, he loses the Void Ray. I cannot believe it.
Oh god, this is bad. Losing the Void Ray is really bad. If he would have had it down with the Phoenixes, and this is what he does right now, he might have been able to take them down, but losing Void Ray is huge.
Well, I think this game is still in favor of Puzzle, though, as he will be able to defend his probes a little bit longer, and now he's going to get that Queen with these Phoenixes.
Yeah, there's Zerglings. They will take down the natural. The Zerglings are in the main base right now. Is he going to lose additional probes? It certainly looks like he's losing a lot, but it's not enough. GG! Curious after a crazy game. GG's.
We have been seeing some crazy Zerg versus Protosses out of these Startail Zergs, man.
Yeah, I really like the build. It's mixing things up, and he just wants to exploit this.
He wants to let Protosses know that fast lair tech is a viable option. That's what Startail is actually telling people right now.
Well, just look at Puzzle here. He played so well, and just imagine he would have opened up with, let's say, Immortals.
Things could have been a lot different. He definitely would not have had the counterattack potential that the Void Rays and Phoenixes allowed him in that game.
You have to make a choice early on. He chose to start with a Stargate, and the Stargate helped him a lot. It's not only about defending against the drop play, but just his ability to send those Void Rays over to the main base of Curious was really important. If he would have opened up with the robotics and started with some kind of Immortal strategy, this would have ended very badly.
I completely agree, man. I think... Well, I mean, there's not much else we can say about it, but I like the idea. Like I said, that was my first time seeing this, ever. I've never seen someone do this. No one's ever done this to me before on the ladder. I've never seen this executed in a televised match, but I have to say, it's creative and I like it. It's obviously not original. As you said, you saw several players doing this before, but I thought it was pretty cool.
is the one game, the one play where it comes to mind. I know the positions, but I don't know the players. I mean, top right for the Zerg, bottom left for the Protoss. Maybe one of you guys knows what game I'm talking about, but the player name just doesn't come to mind. But it was really well executed, and this time the Protoss won. Back then on Antigua, the Protoss actually lost everything in his main base and lost the game as well. It can be really scary, especially if you don't know it's coming.
Yeah. Well, Puzzle is... I don't know what he's doing with his fingers there. What's he doing, man?
Something with his fingernails.
Yeah. Puzzle is more concerned about his fingernails right now than the map Whirlwind, which he will face Curious on game 2 here. See if he can actually take him out 2-0. This is a big map. A lot of Zergs like it. The GSL Code A. Curious against Puzzle. Cast by Kel.